Family has a farm that is haunted as shit and possibly infested with something else. I'm just going to recount the stories from my family that I believe, and I'll finish with a few encounters I've had myself. Warning, I can't green text worth shit cause I don't know. Back in 70s, 2 sisters died in an accident. On the farm up until the late 80s, family was buried on her near their favorite spots. They both happened to like this one hill on one of the side pastures. Enter my uncle, a drunk for the most part. He wanted to plant his trailer on said hill, but my aunt, the landowner at the time, told him he couldn't. Gave him no other reason than just cause, kind of a cunt. She went on vacation for 3 months, so the dumbus had his trailer put there despite what she told him. Not even a week had passed, and on 3 nights all the posters and pictures on his walls were on the floor by morning. He said none of them were ever damaged, and he heard nothing in the night. After the first night he thought it was just one of my cousins being a shit, so he had his place locked tight. A couple more poltergeisty things later, and by the second week he had moved himself into the main farmhouse and scheduled for the trailer to be moved. A week before the movers came, he went back to pack the rest of his shit. Everything he had left behind was either smashed or torn to shit. He was paranoid, so his trailer had been locked down the whole time he was gone. One of my great-aunts used to live in the farmhouse. She died one evening slipping in the tub when everyone was out at some event. Buried in the backyard by the animal pens because she loved raising the family livestock. For the next 5 years, relatives who stayed in the house encountered areas where they would catch a faint whiff of her perfume. That can be explained by it just probably have sank into the wallpaper or whatnot, whatever. But some nights near dead hour, usually when there was only one person up, they could hear faint classical music playing from the back of the laundry room, which was on the closest corner of the house to her grave. One other night when my mom, aunt and her husband were staying up sitting around the kitchen table. They were smoking something my great aunt was apparently overly fond of. In front of the 3 of them, the cigarette pack opened its flap. Whatever, just a release of tension me. Then a single cig started sliding itself out. Step-uncle swipes the pack off the table. Auntie immediately picks it up, takes the moved cigarette out, and put it in the laundry room. They went to bed afterwards cause fuck that shit. When they woke up, the cig had disappeared. I honestly think it was just someone in the house who took it, but still, now for my encounters. I had been told several times growing up that the path between the 2 houses on the farm was haunted. It was roughly 500 meters and cut a winding path through some dense forest. One night when I was about 15, I was dared to do a back and forth by my cousins. Up to this point, I thought all the stories were just bullshit made up to amuse and whatnot. I knew the path pretty well from daytime, so the dickwood said to do it without a flashlight. Okay, whatever, still took a hard stick with me in case of predators. Be about 300 meters, though, when I felt an extreme chill, and I instantly teared up for no reason. Stopping, I looked back, and 50 to 60 meters back there was this pale and small thing crawling towards me on the path. I'm crying right now typing this shit out, BTW. Anyways, it paused once I saw it, then immediately started going faster. I'm screaming at this point and running. I booked it looking back, and each time it was closer and closer until I made the break in the trees. The porch of the house was about 50 meters from the trees, and I didn't stop until I was behind the screen door. I could still see it at the end of the path. It was about 2 feet long with a cat-like body, no tail, and a face like the picture. My uncle who owned the house came stomping down the stairs fucking yelling at me until he saw me, just fucking shell-shocked. I looked back, it was gone. He asked me if I saw it, and I tried to just explain it must have been a coyote or something. Then he explained its appearance in detail to me to a fucking T. My cousins came ripping up to the house on quads with rifles about a minute later because they heard my screams. Now, back when I was 18, I went to go visit friends about 100 kilometers away from the farm. The first night I'm there, we're just in one of their backyards shooting the shit and drinking a little bit. One of the girls says she's going to leave for home, and I offer to walk her back. It's about a 20-minute walk through town, but whatever. Get her home and start walking back. Get about halfway and feel the same feeling I did when I was 15, accompanied by dread. Look back and see it. I don't know how far I am from my friend's place, but I start sprinting hard. Not religious, but I was saying the Lord's Prayer and shit the whole time. Play it cool once I'm back and tell no one. My bro who came to town with me asked me afterwards what happened cause I looked spooked as shit when I came back. Explained everything. Didn't really believe me, but I didn't care, he asked, and I told. The next night me, my bro, and 2 others go out for strippers. I got fucking wasted. Like I mean 300 bar tab and myself tried to buy a lap dance, fucking deck a fag for trying to kiss me fucked up. My bro kinda saw when I had had too much and decided to stop drinking so he could get me home. Anyways, decking the fag got me kicked out, so we started walking back to my sister's place that we were staying in while in town. I was blackout drunk by this point, so I'm going by what he finally told me a week ago, 3 years after the fact. Apparently I started freaking out saying I saw it to him. He shrugged it off because I was wasted, but I was already running. He says he looked back at one point while chasing after me and he's sure he saw it. I was screaming my head off, so when we got back I was tossed into bed and he explained what happened to everyone in the house. No one mentioned it to me, but they said it was probably best if we went home the next morning. I don't care if I never encounter anything remotely spooky again in my life, if it means I don't have to go through being chased by that thing again.